Hello and welcome to another WLRN live streamed broadcast. Today I'm going to be interviewing Marie Volbrecht. I interviewed her back in July, the end of July, about a trans activist mob that was attacking her reputation on Twitter and in media pieces. And she was able to successfully bring an injunction against her harassers. So, welcome so much, Marie, to WLRN.
Hi. Oh God, it feels like yesterday, but it's been weeks. Wow.
Yeah, and congratulations. How does it feel to have won this case?
It's a big relief because this was really yeah, being heavy on me on top of everything else I'm facing. These allegations were so outrageous that I couldn't really sleep, and now I feel much more relieved going forward.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about the court case and its significance? What are the details?
Okay, so I think last time I told you that there is this big media shitstorm. It's actually still going on, it's still escalating. So no break for me since July. But this one particular thing was there is an initiative in Germany. It's called Trans Media Watch. So it's basically an initiative who watches other media, how they report on issues of trans. Um, and they have like guidelines. And these initiative has also accounts on social media. And this one trans activist, um, Dana Ma, created, or I believe, created this hashtag called Marie is denying Nazi crimes
And
from
this is a trans identified man.
yes,
Yep.
yes. And yeah, so it was like,
Who
yeah,
who posted this online on Twitter from his account, right? His Twitter account.
yes. So I think the approximately the words were, oh, I never created a hashtag, but let's Marie's denying Nazi crimes trend. And then this transmedia campaign, uh, who is supported by a lot of queer media and queer organizations in Germany, jumped on it, and they were actually spreading this hashtag. Like they created a picture with the hashtag on it. It's like, yeah, Marie is denying Nazi crimes. And in Germany, this is actually it can actually be a crime if you deny the Holocaust. And even though that it had nothing to do with the Holocaust, some media then picked it up and says, "Oh, it seems like Marie is denying the Holocaust." So that was really dangerous for me and for my reputation.
Yeah.
So there's three big NGOs in Germany for trans rights and intersex rights, who we thought are responsible for this Transmedia Watch site, who was spreading the hashtag.
And how did you know that they were responsible?
I think my lawyers found some really good evidence because they were linked, and they would also, before this happened, they would always talk about their involvement. I think some of the people who said they're involved with this initiative are also in this trans organizations, but I don't know any details. But they, they said they're clearly responsible for it, and all I was, all I asked was to remove it, um, and they wouldn't. They like one of them said, "Oh, we're going we're going against you in court." Like they really want the right to call me a Nazi.
Okay, so you initiated a court case, and then they also initiated a court case against you, right?
I didn't even initiate a court case. I just sent them a letter from my lawyer to tell them to please, yeah,
But
stop
then
doing.
it did go to court,
Then it
right?
did go. Yeah, then it did go to court. Court,
And
but
so after your lawyers sent that letter to them, that's when they said, well, we're going to take you to court, right?
yeah, one of these organizations, but we all actually went to court for another one, for another one of the three, um, and we got like a primary court decision, which ruled. I actually shared it to everyone. Everyone can read it, and it says that not only did the judges think that they are responsible or connected to this transmedia side. Also, there is no true, I know how to translate all this German legal stuff that I don't actually understand in English, but it's like there's no truth to it, what they claim. Like they look at all everything I said and said there's no truth to it, and it's really devastating for me and my personal rights. So they had to.
You know, in a court of law here in America, we would call that defamation. Does that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that ring a bell? Was this a defamation lawsuit?
It was not a defamation lawsuit. It was first just a. Uh, yeah, just
It's like putting an injunction is like a restraining order, right? So
yes, it's more like a restraining order.
yeah, and how many people are impacted by this injunction? How many people no longer can post under that hashtag? And what are the other
So
um,
no one, no one. Actually, this transmedia sites, but it only affects this transmedia sites and this organizations. But since we now have like a legal case, we also said we're going against everyone if we have to who's still spreading it on social media. And I think we also started to target some people who would still were still sharing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So some individuals, or you said there's three trans organizations that you are aware of that are spreading the lies, right? They're the primary sources of the lies.
As yeah, of this, we think that these three are responsible for this Twitter account, which spreading this defamation, this hashtag, which is not true because I'm not denying Nazi crimes, which then caused this chain reaction that other people um, were also sharing it. And
Right.
then the normal, like newspapers, then they pick up the stories from Twitter and then they're spreading it to the world. So
Right. I wanna ask a question. So I typed in the hashtag into Twitter, the one that was discussed in the NZZ article,
yes.
um, and uh, nothing came up. It was great. It was like there's nothing there. Was that because of the injunction?
I think so, and I think also that we announced that we're going against people who are using it. So many people deleted it, um, and I'm really happy about it.
Is Twitter aware of this?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why when you type in that hashtag, nothing at all comes up. Let me see what it
Yeah.
says. Uh, I just don't know how if that's connected to your court case.
Um, yeah, let's wait for it, but that's the
And
first.
okay, and you said before we went online, you said that there are future court cases, and I know you can't talk a lot about future court cases, but can you tell us a little bit about what these future court cases might be?
I mean, it's mostly these defamation cases against these big trans organizations, and you have to consider that I have to crowdfund the money for my lawyers, but this organization, there are they are state funded, so they get a lot of of our taxes to then go against me or go, yeah, use it for the for I mean, I don't know why they are so keen on doing it. It's like, no, we really want to call this woman a Nazi crime denier. It's such a ridiculous.
And they're trans organizations. How is that helping trans people to call you a Nazi crime denier?
I don't know. I think it's like I'm the J.K. Rowling of German Twitter now. I'm like the most hated turf, and everything that is against me and that stops me is good. So
Have you talked to JK about this?
no.
That'd be cool if you could meet her, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these trans organizations, the three of them, are state funded by Germany, like the government of Germany.
Yeah, they not fully, but they receive a lot of money. They I think they received one hundreds of thousands of euros in the last years. Um, and I don't actually know how that works, how they will justify using this money for the lawsuits. I don't know. But many people are realizing what they're doing now. So
Wait a second. These trans organizations are using money for a counter lawsuit against you.
I don't know,
You
but
don't know. You don't know, but that's what
to,
you're happening.
I think they have to put out some report how, like, every NGO has to do at the end, like what kind of money they received from where and what they used it for. And I don't know, I'm really curious if this case shows up and where the money comes from to drag me to court and yeah.
Hmm. So what made you decide to take legal action?
Yeah, I have to, because you know how this works. I'm just in the beginning of my academic career, and these allegations can just, yeah,
And you
destroy.
really you decided that this was the way that you could save your career because I understand you're going to be learning in the next 3 weeks if you are invited to return to the university or are we
Yeah,
not are we not supposed to talk about that? Sorry.
no, I don't know
You don't
if
know.
I don't know what's going on, what will happen with my PhD right now. But
I'm so
anyways,
sorry about that.
yeah, let's hope for the best. I think I'm really optimistic, but I mean, to be honest, I can't really go to work right now.
What makes you optimistic, Marie?
Yeah, think that uh, I just think that my supervisors behind me and this madness has to end, and this win is also, yeah.
That's
I
key that your supervisor is behind you. Has your supervisor received any threats?
I can't really talk about all this subject a lot.
Okay. Because, yeah, it's like people can be supportive until then they themselves get attacked. At least that's sort of been my experience here in Madison. Um, so now that you've won this first case, talk a little bit about your lawyers and this law firm. Are they an impact? Are there more than one law firm? Is there more than one law firm involved? How many lawyers do you have? You said you had one that was like a top lawyer in the country. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Yes, yes. Now it's so funny. I went from being a nobody to someone who has a lot of lawyers. Uh, Someone who no one knew, which was great. I don't know why people want to be famous. Now I have a Wikipedia article and um, 4 lawyers. But for the case of my university, or this thing that happened in the university, this talk that was cancelled, and all this what came after this defamation, I have this one law firm, uh, and 3 lawyers are from this law firm, Höcker, who is one of the most famous and best lawyers, media lawyers in Germany when it comes to cancel culture and helping people out who are cancelled and treated horribly by the media.
Fantastic. And so this lawyer has other cases that have been successful in stopping this kind of abuse?
Yes, this is why he's famous, because these are the kind of cases he takes. He is sometimes, I don't know, I feel like people are a little bit mad about it because I didn't take a feminist lawyer or a woman. I went for, the pure toxic masculinity, in quotes. But I think it's just the best what you can do in these cases. You want the best one to.
Right. You want the outcome. You want the best outcome. And if he's able to fight the fight in a patriarchal legal system, then more power to you,
I mean, bring in the big guns.
In the big gun. Absolutely.
I don't regret I regret it. And actually, people should like it because I have 3 lawyers, and we always used to joke like, yeah, and 2 of them are gay, 2 are Jewish, 1 is people of color, 1 is the social democrat. So they're actually really diverse, a diverse team.
They're not coming from the right wing.
I don't know. So this is a thing that people claim because in the past he also he was a lawyer for some politicians from a right party in Germany, but I mean he said he would defend Stalin against Hitler and Hitler against Stalin. He's just doing his job as a lawyer. You have to.
That's so awesome. I love that. So he's a media lawyer. That's the title of his type of law that he practices. Okay.
But he also, he defended also, I think, the company at Heidi Klum and also the Danish royals. So he's really, he's just taking any case that is.
Sounds like what the ACLU was like before trans, which is an advocacy organization here in the United States. But now it's been captured, and so it doesn't believe in free speech anymore. It used to. It did back in the day. It was saying similar things to what your lawyer said. It would defend Nazis' free speech rights, but it defends everybody's free speech rights. But now it doesn't defend women's free speech rights. So it's I don't know what it's like over there in Germany compared to here, but like almost everything. I mean, in the public schools, the churches, the universities, everything is captured by trans ideology.
Yes, and for me, this is a core principle of democracy that everyone has the right to a lawyer. And when people tell me like, oh, how can you take a lawyer who in the past defended right wings? And I'm like, would you go to a surgeon? Like, do you ask a surgeon who he operated on? And if he ever operated a right wing, then you wouldn't go to him, even if he's the best. So for me, it's the same. This is just his job. And he's doing it fantastic. And they're really trying. I don't think they defended a lot of feminists in the past. So they're always like, we don't want to mansplain you, but do you understand that? So I don't know. I feel really good in this law firm. And then I told you I have this other case, which I treat separately because from this particular case. And there I have a lawyer who's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, that you can talk to. That's wonderful. And so, what's the ultimate trajectory? What's the ultimate outcome that you'd like to see from all of this litigation?
So I think um, maybe I just want to show um, that in a democracy you can fight, but there is a fine border that no side should cross. And I feel like this a lot of these activists um, in no one ever stood up to them, and they were allowed to to violate this rules that we have um, about. I mean, I can not agree with someone but still defend their right for free speech. And I think it's just time that someone stands up. And that's why I mean, I hope, of course, to clear my name or get my to get myself out of this mess I'm in. Um, but I also hope that I can maybe set an example, because too many times people don't do that. I received so many emails from people that were like, "Oh my God, I was in the same situation, and I did nothing because I was so afraid." And I get it, because all I wanted to do was to just crawl in my bed and put the blanket on top of me and just waited for all this madness to go away. But it will stick on you forever. I mean, I have now a Wikipedia article, people spreading lies. And in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, when people look me up, I don't know, I want them to find that I put up a fight and not all this lies with no one standing up, because no one does.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, you got to nip it in the bud. That's why I was so mad at my community members here in Madison when this started happening to me, and they were attacked too, and they buckled under the pressure. I'm like, no, if you buckle under the pressure, it's just going to keep going and going and going. And that's what's happened, you know? So I just, I'm so grateful for you that you started this process and that you've got such great lawyers and you started it early. And yeah, 5, 10 years from now, people will Google your name and they'll see that you fought back and that you won, you know, and that'll change everything all over the world. It could. I'm hoping that your case
Yes, I
will
also
win, will help with law all over the world.
and even even if I don't win, um, I want to be able to look to look in the mirror again, and I will, because I did. I mean, I have to point it out again. I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to give a short
Oh, right.
talk
Did
about
you feel
biology.
like you might have done something wrong because they were making you feel that way?
I mean, you start thinking about it, and I am actually really. I'm not the kind of person who says like, "Oh, I'm right. I'm going to drag it out." Um, but I'm here and I'm thinking all the time. Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Maybe, but there is nothing. It's pure madness. And you know what happens now?
Uh-huh.
There's the next media campaign, and it gets more and more outrageous. Um, so last weekend, really sad. It's really sad. A trans man was killed on a pride event here in Germany, because
Oh.
a guy. Um, so there was a bunch of lesbians, and the guy was harassing this lesbians, and then this trans man came, and he wanted to help the lesbian woman. He said like something like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And then this guy punched him in the face like 2 times really hard, and he fell and hit his head on the concrete, and he
Mhm.
died in the hospital. Like, this trans man died in the hospital 5 days later.
Wow.
And the guy who did it is actually a 20-year-old box champion from
Mhm.
Chechnya. So really tragic. Chechnya is known to be really homophobic. Um, Chechnya is known to be really homophobic. Um, but what happened was people blamed me. They said they were also trying to trend hashtags like that was Marie's murder or Marie's fault. Um, and yeah,
That's insane.
completely insane.
Who was blaming you? The same people who said you were a Nazi?
Sure, the
Yeah,
same trend.
people. So it's like a mob, right? It's like a crowd of people.
Yeah, but you have to understand it's not even anonymous people like randos on the internet. There are people. Um, there are people like we have a left wing party and they have a head. The head of the left wing party queer, like a queer part of the left wing party, he stated um, it was my fault among a famous left wing woman, a politician who going against gender identity, and another, the most famous feminist in Germany, Ali Schwarzer. So he said he listed four women that he said we are responsible because we are apparently putting the transphobia uh, in the media and then it's spreading to the society and then people get murdered. This is what people actually believe. And
That's so horrible. I mean, transphobia doesn't even exist. There's no such thing. I mean,
I
we're not
think
afraid
this,
of trans people. We're defending ourselves from these attacks. You know, that's not transphobia. Like,
I think it exists. You have to distinguish it a bit. I mean, there are people.
okay, okay, we can disagree on that. I don't think it exists, but
Okay,
go.
I think it does. I think there are some really nasty people that just hate trans people, not
Oh,
feminists, but people keep on mixing it up together. Like, I don't know if you heard about kiwi farms.
yes, yes.
So one German politician asked me to distance myself from kiwi farms a couple of days ago. I have never heard about it. Somehow it's also my fault because in solidarity to my talk, like in my talk about biology, I talked about kiwis because kiwi plants have usually in most forms separate sexes on separate individuals. So there was a running gag on Twitter that people said, "Oh, let's put up kiwis in our profiles for representing the two sexes." And feminists did it, but also trolls did it. Um, and now this politician is like, "Ha, this is a dog whistle. Please, what has she to do with kiwi farms?" I'm like, I've never heard about it. Now I did some research and like, okay, it exists apparently without me for some years. It is called kiwi farms because of New Zealand. It has nothing to do with the fruit, but this is crazy conspiracy theories where somehow they make feminists responsible also for actions that these trolls commit. And I don't know any feminist who wishes uh, bad things to trans people or is violent towards trans people. This just doesn't happen.
Exactly. I don't know any feminists like that either. I mean, I don't honestly, just to be totally honest, like I don't see any hate speech against trans people out there. Really. Where's the hate speech? I mean, the worst I've seen is like calling them troons or trannies, but that, I don't know. I don't think that that's about as bad as calling us turfs, and
And
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I also get, people also call me a cunt on Twitter. I find
Right,
it
right.
appealing. And also, I would not never call someone a tranny. And I also don't like when people do that. It's just, or I don't know, they're just, making, it's just unnecessary, cruel post unnecessary cruel things or celebrate when a trans person commits suicide, these kind of things. But these are not feminists doing it. although I
Right.
was
And I don't know how many who really celebrates when anyone commits suicide. Nobody. I mean I don't know. Some of this I think is an exaggeration. We're supposed to believe that there are people out there that are oppressing trans people and saying horrible things and celebrating when they die and, promoting them being murdered and stuff like that. But I've never seen any of this anywhere online by anyone saying anything like that. Have you?
yeah, but
You
they're just some really nasty trolls. But they abuse everyone, and I think this is a general problem. But we always treat it as a problem when it happens to trans people. But what's with also misogyny? Like,
Right. When it happens to us, then somehow it's not a problem. But if it happens to trans people, I mean, the thing is that I can guarantee you that there's a lot more hate speech aimed at women um, online than there is towards trans people. Totally more.
now there was another Pride event, and actually the left wing party, um, or a couple of weeks ago, the left wing party, a woman from the left wing party contacted me, and they said I found these stickers. So it has the official logo from the left wing party, and this queer section, and it had a chicken on it, a male chicken on it, and it said, uh, "Turfs can suck my huge trans cock," in the colors of and this trans colors. And I was demanding some answers, like, how can this is a party, how can you be so hateful towards women? And then they said, oh, this has nothing to do with the party, some individual did it, blah blah, and we put out a disclaimer and like an email. So now there was a pride event in Dresden a couple of weeks later, and they actually put a huge poster on one of the wagons saying the same things, like, turfs can suck my huge trans cock. How is this? How can this happen? How is this?
Parade? There was a big banner at a parade with that.
Yes,
What kind of parade? It was a pride parade, you said?
pride parade
In Germany somewhere.
in Dresden.
And this was documented. There were pictures taken, and these people were proud to be holding this banner.
Yes.
Did anyone protest them holding the banner?
Um, I haven't seen any protest. I think also some English-speaking people picked it up and spread it on Twitter because it's so outrageous. And because in the front, the wagon in the front, it had some sort of we remember Malte. Malte was the trans man who was killed the week before. So like, we remember him, and then but in the back you have this big poster who says, "Turfs can suck my huge trans cock."
And so, oh God, that's horrible. And that they just feel that they can publicly display that without any consequences. I mean, were there lesbians at this Pride March? What did they think of that?
I don't know. I just know. I mean, I know a bunch of lesbians who go on pride events now with their signs who says, lesbians don't like dick.
Right.
Or lesbian is adult human female attracted to adult human female. These things. I know a group of lesbians who do that, and they get actually horribly abused, or threatened, or yelled at, spit at, they throw bottles at them here in Berlin in a pride event. I don't know are there any lesbians on pride events, or are they just
Well, I mean, in this country and in Canada, there are lesbians at pride events, but they often have their signs ripped out of their hands, and they are taunted and ostracized and attacked at pride marches, unless they toe the line, and are like, yeah, female penis all the way, or whatever. So, there aren't that many lesbians at pride marches anymore.
Yes, this is. Wait, what is this?
I wanted to say, yeah, the Donnie Schneider wrote, it was up on the truck. There was the banner
Yes.
that we were talking about was up on the truck, and people were dancing and having fun on the platform below. And then so she's saying that this banner was not brought along by one or two people, but it was put up by D Link, whatever that is,
The
organizing.
left. It's called the
Oh,
Thistle
the
and
left. Oh, okay. That and the left. Tell us again. What is the left?
It's a party. It's just the name of a political left party.
Okay,
Uh,
but then didn't that political left party also say that this was individuals that are doing this? It's not us.
oh, that's what I said a couple of weeks earlier with the stickers when the stickers showed up with the same slogan on it. But now it's a pattern. I think they are responsible for it, and they should start doing something against this misogyny what is spreading in in the party. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't
They're
know.
not. They're so far. D-Link or the left party's not doing anything about misogyny in the party.
I think they have their own scandals right now. Also, some sexual
Oh,
uh,
they've got some other scandals too, huh?
scandals. Yeah, surprisingly. But this is I don't know. This is not particularly a problem of the left wing party. This is who's not in government. Our government right now consists on the Green Party, Social Democrats, and Liberals. And I mean, they're all pushing the self ID law. Um, so they're also to blame for what's going on here.
And then Inga says it was a youth organization from
All
D.
right. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So, do you think this ideology is more prevalent amongst the youth of Germany than it is amongst older members of society?
Yeah, I think there is this still this gap that um, it's I mean it's spreading in social media, it's spreading in TikTok and Reddit and also a little bit Twitter, but in schools. So I have the feeling that like the older generation, let's say 40 plus, doesn't know anything about this ideology. It was really under the radar. Everyone was just mixing it up with homosexuality, and I mean Germany is really progressive. So you don't want to be one of this people who has anything against homosexuals. So you everyone's like, yeah, trans, whatever. I think people don't realize the differences, what is actually queer, uh, what queer means, the ideology behind all this gender identity. Um, so now
Right.
there's
And,
now
and, and I think that's similar to over here. And then there's this attitude amongst these liberals that are over 40 that, oh, we need to learn from the youth. The youth are teaching us. They know more about this progressive future trend than we do, and ugh, that's bad.
yeah, and also here I always feel that people think, this is a woman's issue, no one is actually interested in it. This is just like a yeah, some feminists fighting amongst each other. Why should I get involved? But I always say this is not something that's young versus old or women against other women or women against men. This is or left against liberals or conservative. This is just really a matter also of free speech and yeah, and democratic values. So this is an ideology really trying to change the principles of our society, and we need to maybe also work with people that would disagree on many times, but we need to stand up together against this. And this is yeah, I really hope.
Well,
And we
Marie, you are an inspiration. We do. We need to stand up against this ideology. It is anti-democratic. It is anti-civil dialogue. It's anti-reality, material reality. And we've got to stop it. And you are at the forefront of stopping it. So thank you for being there and for deciding to fight, because I know there are sacrifices when you decide to fight with a big legal case as well. But we're so proud of you and we're so glad that you're doing this. And is there anything else you'd like to ask me or say before we say goodbye today?
Yes, I mean, it always feels weird to advertise this, but if you can, please share my crowdfunding, because uh, all these lawsuits, all these lawyers are really, really expensive, and I'm really poor. And if you don't have any money, there's a solidarity letter with me, so maybe, I don't know, sign it and spread it. So these are the two things you can help me um, to also, keep the attention on this case.
Can you
Um,
put that crowdfunder URL in our Twitter chat so that I can try to put it in? Women have been trying to put it in the the chat and it hasn't been going up. So if you could send it to me, I would appreciate that.
yeah, now, or should I just do it after our talk?
Now let's try to get it into the chat, and then I'll try to edit also later on to
Right.
get it into the. Well, I can also put it in the post when I post the video, but please, if you can get it in the chat or into my Twitter messages, I'll see if I can get it into the.
Yes. Mhm. Let me find it.
Thanks for your patience, WLRN listeners. It's so great to see you all out there. I see that you're watching us live streaming. In the meantime, we can put the WLRN, because,
So
go ahead. Did you find it?
I found it and I sent it. I sent it to you in like a private message on Twitter.
Okay.
And you have to, if you go on it, it's in German. But if you scroll down a little bit,
You can translate.
I put up the basic information of the case also in English under it. You also find a link to the video, like to my talk about biology. It has English subtitles if you want a basic biology lesson. Um, and then there
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and I updated with news, but so far I only did it in German. Maybe I should do it the next time also in English.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, just write to me. In English, I can answer it. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, again, yeah, people are writing in the chat. We stand with Marie. You've got so much support out there from feminists, but also from people who love democracy and free speech and civil society. So keep on keeping on, Marie, and come back on to WLRN anytime. If you've got updates, contact me. We'd love to have you on.
thank you, and also good luck to you with all you're going through in the US. I try also to follow this development in your country, because this is also really important, I think, for everyone else in the world, uh, how you're dealing with it.
Thank you, indeed. All right, maybe we'll both have lunch with J.K. Rowling someday.
Maybe, maybe
Right.
you can dream. Okay.
Have a great day or a great evening.
Yes, you too.
Okay, bye-bye, Marie.
Bye bye.